Chapter 2. As I stepped fully into the house, the door side closed behind me, with the weary finality of something long used to being alone. The gray light did not brighten, but seemed instead to thicken, like fog trapped behind the windows. I walked slowly, my boots pressing into the warped floorboards, which bowed as if unsure whether to hold me or let me fall through. The jars, there must have been hundreds, lined every wall in lopsided grids, each one glowing faintly from within. Not light, exactly, but presence. Things floated inside. Feathers that quivered without wind, coils of hair knotted into impossible shapes, small pale bones curled like sleeping animals. One jar held only a single tooth, pristine and childlike, floating in its amber prison as if waiting for the dreamer it belonged to. I did not recognize any of it, and yet I felt watched by every jar. Their contents seemed to lean toward me slightly, like petals toward warmth. There was a low table in the center of the room, half-rotted and sagging under the weight of dust. Upon it sat an old phonograph, its horn bent like a wilting flower. Beside it, a single glove, leather, cracked, too small for an adult's hand. I reached out to touch it, but before I could, the floor shivered. It was not an earthquake. It was quieter than that. Quieter than breath. Beneath my feet, something shifted, timid, almost polite. As though the house were repositioning its slumber. I turned, and the jars seemed to realign themselves. The wall behind me now held different ones. One had a moth, wings outspread, with words etched across them in a language I had once dreamed. Another held a pocket watch, its second hand twitching backward, then forward, then stopping altogether. In the far corner, a narrow staircase led upward, but it looked more like a wound than a corridor. The banister was missing, and the steps bled rust where nails once held them firm. I stood at the bottom, unsure if I had descended or ascended to this point. Then a sound, not loud, but clear. A child's voice, distant and wrong, singing a tune I knew only in the marrow. Come back, to the place where you fell. I froze. I had heard it before. On a day long forgotten, under sun-stained sheets hung out to dry. A child I used to know had sung it. Maybe me. Maybe not. The house leaned closer. I reached into my coat pocket and found something I hadn't placed there. A key. Brass, warm to the touch. Its teeth were jagged, cruel, like it had been gnawed into shape. One of the jars near the door now held a mirror. No, it held a mirror reflection. Mine, but not as I was now. I saw a younger face, blood at the temple, eyes wide with something like apology. It blinked. I stepped away. Somewhere above, something moved, scraping, hesitant. The sound of furniture being dragged across a floor that no longer existed. I looked back toward the staircase. It hadn't moved, but the shadows on it had. Come back, come back. The song again, but closer. Beneath the floorboards now, or inside the walls, or inside me. I don't know how long I stood there. The gray light did not change. The house had no clocks, only echoes. Memory here was not tethered to time, but to place. 2 objects, 2 wounds. I finally moved, not up the staircase, but through a small door beneath it, one I hadn't noticed until now. I had to crouch to fit through. The key, warm in my hand, pulsed like a heartbeat. Before the door closed behind me, I looked once more at the room of jars. Somehow, I knew that one of them now held my voice. And I hadn't even noticed it go.